Call the meeting to order. Looks like it's 7:03, and I've got to go ahead and read the remote participation text of, in accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public. So as long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number of 840-0877-2826 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, an Assistant Town Manager, at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100, prior to the meeting during business hours. All right. I didn't have it on the agenda, so I'm not even going to go yet for approve the agenda. Yes, we have Sarah Ernst here, who is our new Parks Director. Congratulations coming into town. I want to introduce her to everybody and have her introduce herself to all of us. Go for it, Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah Ernst. I've been a townie my whole life. I started in the rec programs in the third grade, with Jeff. And then when I became a junior coach in like seventh or eighth grade, like probably one of the youngest kids to do so, because Jeff just believed in me then. So because of Jeff, I decided to do a career in sports management, and I have my MBA in sports management as well as my bachelor's. So coming in, I've been his admin for over a year. I started last February, so for about 15 months I was his admin, and now I'm taking over for him.
All right, all right. Where'd you get your degree from?
Franklin Pierce University. I got both my degrees there.
Excellent. All right, that's good. Well, it's nice to continue with a townie in town, so.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else want to say anything, or?
Welcome aboard.
You got it.
Welcome again, Sarah. Our town is very lucky to have you. I'm glad you're helping, and I'm glad you're still there, especially for my kids who are no longer needing babysitting, but will be on all those supports to you.
Yes.
Yes, and I want to extend a welcome as well. I look forward to working with you. So happy that you're on board, and it's nice that you have so much experience and continuity with Jeff and the legacy that he leaves. And yeah, it's just we're looking forward to so many new developments with Park and Rec things. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. I echo everything everybody said as well. Excited we have you in that position.
You got it. All right. Yeah, Sarah's filling in as they're going to be meeting, the commissioners will be meeting later on this month to figure out exactly who's going to take Jason's place on our board. Sarah, I think Jeff told you that that's one of the positions that is legally required for CPC.
Yep.
It has to be somebody from the Parks and Rec Commission. So
Yep.
Let them know that it will be greatly appreciated.
Will do.
All right. I'm going to move on. Everybody with the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written? Unless somebody's got any type of corrections, additions, or whatever.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
All right, Colleen made the motion.
I'll second it.
Julie
Julie.
seconds. So since we're on Zoom, I've got to just do a roll call. Jess?
Hi.
Colleen?
Aye.
Beth?
Who did
Beth?
you say?
Beth?
Okay. Yes, thanks.
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair says aye. All right. Okay.
Is Sarah not voting?
I don't, I'm
Yeah.
going to have her as a guest
Okay.
because she's not really the person who's holding the,
Okay. And this just so I have the count right.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, the next is the approval of the minutes for May 1st. Jess, thank you again for resending it. I have no idea what I do with it. I open it up and I think it somehow or another gets in the cloud somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
I'm,
So,
yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I'm having a hard time finding anything. I don't know what happened. Like, I can't find any of the things that have been sent. Like, because I think you sent grant agreements that I thought
Yeah.
I saw, and now I can't find those either. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
You
going
know what it is, Beth? It acts as if you have it set up as conversations, the Zoom invite came as so I had to
Oh.
open the Zoom invite, and then as part of that conversation, I was able to see all the attachments.
Oh, so it's like in the calendar I need to go to the meeting?
No, I think even in your inbox, the invite from Cindy is part of a conversation to when Janet sent out the agenda. It's weird. There's a way to undo it, and I haven't
Okay.
figured it out yet.
All right. I'll have
So
to
that
look.
everything shows up as an individual message, but for me, they show up as conversation, so it's hidden down.
Okay. So like if I find, I don't know, I've been searching for like 20 minutes. I can't find anything on my phone or on my computer. It's really weird. Sorry, I'm just having technical difficulties.
that's all right. Maybe what I'll find out if there's another way from Cindy to go ahead. Yeah, to see if there's something else we can do. I see that she's unmuted herself.
Yes, you can shut that off in the settings because I find that really annoying myself. Let me find out where that is. Hang on a sec.
Well, as we're doing this though, all right, never mind. Because I do have some corrections on the minutes.
Really?
Oh gosh, that's very unusual, Jess. So
I think I figured it out. When you go to settings, it says email group by conversation or emails as individual messages. And if you change that setting, then they
Yep.
should all show up.
Yeah, right. Then you'll see them individually, which is what I'm used to reading my email that way.
Right.
Instead of scrolling down through 300 conversations.
oh, I know because they get lost.
Yeah.
And then you have those that you've answered privately. Just one person. Then
Right.
you have the both. Yeah,
Then you're not sure who you're sending it to. So yeah, especially on your phone where you can't really see it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac and it says that it's not grouped by conversation. Like that's not checked. So I don't know what. Yeah.
All
I
right.
will continue. And if anybody has them and wants to just resend them to me, that would be appreciated too. Thanks.
I can forward them to you right now, Beth.
Thank you.
Kathleen.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
This wrecks the world, Beth.
You're so funny. It's like, oh, all right. The corrections that I have for the minutes of May 1st happens to be on page 2. One of the bullet points that starts with, meanwhile, the Sandy Pond School Association is
Yeah.
working with the Page Hilltop.
Yep.
Okay, Page doesn't have an I.
How dare they?
I know, that's what happens when it's named after a book.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know why I've been thinking it is that for a long time. Anyway, got it.
Okay, no problem. And then the next one I found is on page 5, underneath the planning board with Julie Murray, noted that all of the, and it looks like the A for the amendments got put as proposed.
Oh, looks
That's
noted that all of the a proposed. Got it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be proposed amendments.
Oh, the aim. Yeah, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just move the A.
Yeah.
That's all that I found, but again, Jess, we'd be lost without you. I like the way that, you bring all the historical information about the Sandy Pond School Association, so, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Oh, hearing crickets, can I get a motion to accept the minutes as amended, please?
So moved.
Julie makes the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Colleen seconds. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Jess,
I
Colleen?
Aye.
All right, Julie
Yes.
and Beth.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the chair says yes, so it has been voted. All right. Correspondence and invoices, no invoices. The only correspondence really is, I did go to the open house for Sandy Pond School Association in May. It was definitely raining that day, but it was an awesome experience. So with that, Irv did a great job. I could tell it was, let's see, what do I want to say? Election period with everybody who did show up. So it was good. And Julie, did you get a chance? Oh, her phone froze. Yeah, she's frozen now. Did anybody else have a chance to go over there?
I meant
No,
to-
fortunately, it was graduation day. So,
No, understood.
Yeah, I wanted to as well, but just didn't make it because we had a Pocket Forest event too.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. You had the one at Devon's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, all right. But yeah, like I say, it was good. And he did mention, CPC, the CPA funds. So that was awesome as well. Did anybody else possibly get any other type of correspondence? All right, just moving right along. I put down review grant agreements as old business. However, I realized that these are really new. And I also realized after I sent them, I did not put the word draft on them. So I want to note that these are draft while we're working on it. I made a mention. Beth, did you get a copy of them from Colleen?
I have not seen it yet.
All
I
right.
did
Continuing to
send them.
search. Okay.
Let me,
Maybe it's my computer. I don't know.
yeah, it says that showed up in my sent.
Okay, thank you.
Messages.
I'll keep refreshing. I'm checking a different, like access
sent it-
mechanism.
I sent it to your Ayer email. Do you also
Oh,
want it?
Yeah,
the
I
other?
don't think that one's reaching me, so it should.
Okay, I'll
yeah.
send it to the other as well.
So what I did on these is I used the template that we had for the housing authority, not housing authority, the housing trust that has the legalese of whereas and all that, that it looks as if town council likes. So the one that I'm going to look at first is the $150,000 for Habitat for Humanity of North Central Massachusetts. It goes ahead and, describes that, again, that it's an agreement between the CPC and the town with North Central Mass Housing or Habitat for Humanity. And with that, I'm sorry. I don't know if I point to the, town meeting on April 22nd, as well as, the funds have got to be used. And I'm giving it, this one here says like, within 3 years instead of just the 1 year, because if they're done within the 1 year, then it's over and done with. That they've got to make sure that they send us the invoices as well as to make sure any type of communication shows that the funds come from the CPA fund. So I don't know if you guys want to take time to look further at these, and we can bring them up at our next meeting.
Well, I have two questions or points
Sure.
to start. One is in the first item, contract documents, consist of this grant agreement, the CPA application approved by the CPC dated January 26th.
Yep.
Makes it sound, I mean, just the wording, I know the application was dated January 26th, but it sounds like it was approved by CPC in January.
Okay.
CPC application just changed dated January 22nd. Well, we didn't. Can we just say the
Received?
CPA application dated January 26th, 2024, and then reviewed by CPC, because we didn't approve it until I think March.
Okay.
It's town, I mean, so that's a question for town council too, is the official approvals, town meetings. vote.
Correct. Correct.
So how should that, yeah,
So I think we can go ahead, the contract document consists of this grant agreement, the CPA application received on January 26th, and a certified copy of the article and
Yeah.
all documents attached here too. I think that'd be the best.
okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll get rid of the word approved.
Yeah. And just the work, the item 3C
Yeah,
mentioned the Air CPC funded the project with all communication. Seems like this one being a real property construction should also have a CPC, some sort of plaque type thing. Shouldn't it? Or
sure. I don't think it would be a brass one like we did. I'm trying
No.
to remember, we did the wooden one from JNS for the other Habitat house, which I don't know is attached to the house. I think it was attached to the board.
okay,
So I can make sure that there's something attached to when they're doing the construction,
okay.
unless someone else thinks that it needs to be attached to the house. Again, we didn't do that with the other two.
Okay.
It would seem to me like it shouldn't necessarily be attached to the house. I think having it visible during construction, a temporary sign, but I think once the house, has been purchased and moved into, I don't feel like it needs to have a permanent sign put on it.
That's fine with,
Yeah, I agree for these types of housing. I think that we should have perpetual signs for other types of projects, including like the historic preservation ones, like Sandy Pond Schoolhouse, I think. But whenever it's a private residence, I think that it makes sense not to have a permanent sign just during construction.
that sounds, I just wanted to double check.
Okay,
Okay, got it.
so I'll put down acknowledgement on, stated on the construction sign. Okay. Okay, those are your two?
Those are my two.
Okay. Again, I want people to, to go ahead and be able to review these. So if you want to, take some time, our next meeting would be in July. Because I'd rather not meet in between, if at all possible. And I don't know, because July 3rd is right next to July 4th. So
Mhm.
I deduce that. I'm doing pretty good today. I don't know if we want to move our meeting again.
Well, I wouldn't have a meeting on July 3rd.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what I
you
mean.
have to either not meet in July or move it.
Well, if we want to go ahead and get these grant
Right.
agreements finished, we could meet at the end of June if we wanted to, June 26th.
I've got a ZBA meeting that night
Okay,
that got moved.
And the housing trust is meeting that night too, I believe.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, no problem. All right. Then July 10th.
That should be fine for me.
I think that looks good for me.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so that will give everybody a chance to review the documents. And then I'll put the word draft on them and make sure that they are, I'll update your corrections there, Jess, and I'll put them on the website. Anything on the Sandy Pond one, this one here I developed, but I know more than likely it is going to get, probably put on a back, not a back burner, but taken over by the town itself, where the Robert and town council will probably come up with their own grant agreement. However, I just want to make sure that what we have is, that it's stated just like with the park equipment, that even though the whole $350,000 is going to get moved over to the account to purchase the property, we want to make sure that we are included in any type of invoices that come in about the purchase and such, so that we can approve, at least get the sense of how that money's being spent.
Well,
Yep,
there should only be one invoice or whatever
that should,
for the
it should
purchase.
be,
It
yeah.
should, yeah.
yeah, it should be, but just in
But
case.
are you also saying we should have something in there that as they start to make use of the property, that we need to continue to be informed to make sure that the, uses of the property fall within the scope of CPC?
Correct. And
Correct.
also, right, correct. And also too, to make sure that it is known that CPA funds were used to purchase this property.
Right.
So as they're working on it, we want to make sure that there is some sort of signage. So I
And
think,
that may also warrant a permanent sign once
Yes.
they.
yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, because like I say, it's not a residential home. I mean, I'm even thinking like, say, Fitchburg Road, the affordable housing construction, that should almost have a permanent sign, because it can go onto the business office building instead of any type of the apartment, because there are going to be, the community room and everything else. So, but yeah, I think that would be good. So I've got to really work with this with Robert.
Yeah.
So
And-
as you, go ahead, Beth.
Number 5 has the restriction associated with affordable housing instead of with permanent recreational use.
Oh, it does? Oh, sorry. I thought I updated that. Okay,
And that, it's one of those situations where technically we need to have a conservation restriction held by someone other than the town. So it's a little bit tricky with recreational. I mean, it's a recreation restriction, not a conservation restriction, but it's a little bit tricky with recreation parcels because it's harder to find a third party, kind of entity to hold that. And I think we're still, that we don't have a grant agreement for the Tooker property acquisition, do we? Because that would be a good model to use here, but I don't think that,
I don't
I
think
don't
we
think
did.
we did one at that time.
It doesn't ring a bell. I can check.
I'm pretty sure we hadn't started regularly doing grant
Right.
agreements.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, well, I know we don't have a grant agreement for Tooka property, but there's got to be some sort of restriction, correct? A conservation restriction?
We're still not compliant.
Okay,
That's on our thing. I mentioned it at one of our recent meetings too, that one needs to be moved up.
all right.
And Jess, I can talk to you offline about possible options because I've had some conversations with folks
Yeah.
about holding it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so like I say, so this one here, no matter what, is gonna get probably revamped by town manager and town council, but I've taken notes of, with regards to number 5, making sure that it states open space, not housing. And making sure that there, will be the signage and looking for any type of recreation restriction. See if what Robert recommends on that. All right,
Do you know if the property's been purchased at this point?
I don't know, I haven't been down at town hall for about a week, so I haven't heard. I mean, I'll say it this way, things were moving pretty fast, so
Yeah.
I would imagine it's pretty close, if not done.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna redo these with the words draft and update with, Beth and Jess's comments. And then send it back out to the team. Sound okay? And then we can, I'll get feedback if there's any, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I drank the tea too fast. If there's any updates from Robert, I'll make sure that they're there for the July 10th meeting.
So you're going to pass the drafts on to Robert as well?
Yeah, might as
Okay.
well get his
Yeah.
feedback.
Hey, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sarah, with you being here, do you know of any group that would help us with a recreation restriction? Is that something you can ask of Jeff as you're transitioning?
Yeah.
All right. That sounds great. See? Thank you for showing up. It's good. All right. All right, if there's nothing else with the grant agreements, I'm just gonna move on unless somebody else has got something else for old business.
Nope.
Okay, then with new business, I'm gonna look at the success stories that are on the town website. So we can revamp them and get some of our new ones, because I think that's about 2 years old, at least. That a lot
At
of it,
least,
pardon?
yes, at least, I think.
Yeah, at least that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that would be good. I'll get the spreadsheet going again and have people sign up for what they would like to go ahead and highlight in those success stories. It's nice to revert back to them, as people wonder where the CPA funds have gone. So that's going to be forthcoming. I think that's a good, they are good ideas. All right.
Because one will include the playground, right?
Yes, it will. Yeah. I think the last thing that we have is the perimeter path for the park. And then I know you all are going to be looking at, again, with all this going on with 71 Sandy Pond Road, the bathhouse. We've got some ideas, of what to do over there.
And we're gonna start picking that back up on our meetings to discuss that now that we have a new board as well.
All right, that sounds great.
The perennial question that always comes up is some sort of canoe kayak access to Sandy Pond as well. Put that on your burner,
Okay.
particularly now that we have more room over across the street.
Yeah, for parking. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, we talked about having a ramp already, and I think that the commission has already kind of ixnayed that just because, like, that's more people we have to watch for lifeguarding, but they're not going to be in our perimeter to kind of, if something goes wrong.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that is in another spot that they could put like more of a ramp because there's like that public area right around the bridge. But I don't think commission will really want a ramp in our space that we would have to manage.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be good. And I know one of the items, I don't know if there's still any room by the playground, but one of the items that people have been asking about are splash pads down at Peroni Park. Because then you don't need really lifeguards, you get, just the area there. So that's some
That
of
has
the,
been mentioned on our end as well. I know that that has been in our capital planning, our fiscal planning, but always gets like pushed to the side. But now we have more commissioners with younger kids, so maybe that will actually be brought up in one of our plans.
excellent. That sounds great. All right.
And then I know this, is kind of an ongoing thing, but again, because you're new and because the commissioners are new, being able to have access to the water and swim or, wade or whatever when lifeguards aren't on duty, because, it is definitely swim at your own risk. Um, but that's it, the lifeguards, the parks wouldn't be responsible if nobody is on duty and it's posted as such, and that's just the way that it is at most places. So I've never really understood why there was a different practice for a Great Lake or pond in Ayer than in other towns. And so, like we would just at some point, like I think to hear a clarification of that, and definitely the restriction of, like being able to get to the shore. Like they put up some kind of a fencing type thing or something like that just doesn't seem appropriate.
That's to keep geese out. So we put up the fences after hours of the lifeguards to keep geese out so we don't have less cleanup of the sand in our grass with geese droppings.
And as somebody who lives along the pond that does not have fencing up, I can attest to the fact that every day there's plenty of geese droppings. So
They know the place.
They do.
And it is not pleasant to expect someone to swim where there are geese dropping. So,
Correct.
Agreed.
all right.
And you can only put so many of those artificial dogs out. And then they finally get the realization that, oh, wait a minute, they're not chasing us.
Yeah. And then we have to clean it up and then it's a whole process. Yes.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I didn't realize the fence was for that.
Yes.
When I drive by, I think it's, again, to block off people going to the beach, to the beach.
It kind of does one of the same. It really just blocks off the water. You can still use the sand to a certain degree, but we really try to block it off. A lot of people question like, "Oh, well, geese can fly over it." But right now, where they have just all had babies and the babies cannot fly yet, it really prevents them from coming up um and kind of overtaking the pond area and our grass and our parking and everything like that. So by keeping that fence up, it does make sure that people don't go into the water, but also it keeps the geese from kind of overtaking our sand and our grass. So dual purpose when we're not open.
These geese. Oh, all right. Well, this is good to know. Okay. All right, so like I say, I'll send out at the spreadsheet with, oh, go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say, what about when it's no longer swimming season? Because I think Beth, you've mentioned like in the fall and stuff, people getting to the beach then.
Right. I presume it's accessible then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the fencing isn't up over the winter?
We try to the winter months, not necessarily. Like we do try to keep it up, but winter rain always deteriorates the fence.
Yeah.
But usually when we try to have like lifeguards and everything like that, put them up and put them down, it's usually that's when we have it, is mostly over the spring and summer and into the fall area.
And the the gate, like the chain link fence gate at the access point, is that ever locked or is that always open?
So when we're technically open, that's open, but winter and stuff like that gets locked. We keep
But
it
then-
open now for, yeah, so people can actually use the basketball courts and the play area and volleyball nets and stuff like that.
But there are some times that it's locked.
Yes, I haven't really, the pond is so new to me. And getting up and like for now, I know that we keep it open because I've asked that too, and they said we like to keep it open.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of amenities to allow the public to enjoy, even when the beach isn't open or whatever. Yeah, or whenever it's too cold to swim. So,
Right.
yeah. Okay.
I can say I've never found it locked in the past 5 years. That we're there frequently, and it's not in off hours and in the winter, and it hasn't been, at least when I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
good.
that we keep the door open consistently now. Like there might be times of the year that we close the gate, but it's not locked per se. But right now we keep the gate open, like in the open position all the time, like in the grass.
And other than the basketball court, isn't there another ball court there?
There's volleyball
Volleyball,
Yeah.
but
Gaga
isn't there
ball.
another
And
one?
Gaga Ball.
and
Gaga
gaga ball
ball.
and
Okay.
bocce. Is that how you say it? We have a bocce pit as well.
Wow, okay. All right. Okay. All right, well, this is good to know. All right, that's what I have for new business. Anything else that people have for new business?
Nope.
All right. Public participation. I'll go and iterate. I don't see anybody here online. If anybody from the public is watching this, outside of, this meeting time, and you have a question, please make sure that you contact Town Hall, Carly Antonellis. She'll let me know your question, and then I'll get back in touch with you, or else you can email us at cpc@ayer.ma.us, and we'll get back in touch with you. We do appreciate any type of feedback that you have, because again, these are the funds that the town has, and we want to make sure that we're using them wisely. So thank you. All right. I'm moving right along. I'm going to go right on to the committee reports. Jess, Conservation.
Taking notes as I
I
speak.
know that.
The first treatment was done on Flanagan Pond last week. I believe the treatments of Sandy Pond and Pine Meadow Pond will be in later this month. And they coordinate with the Parks Department so that, because of swimming and stuff. Heather's just finally got our trail markers in, so she's been sending out emails to contact people about when volunteers might be available to help put those up. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it for us.
All right.
Will there be public announcements about Sandy Pond treatment and the other pond treatments? Is that,
Oh yeah, they always have to post 5 days in advance.
but on website and email and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yes, we have 2 samples we have to post. We
Yeah.
just have to get them to Cindy. We have them.
Right.
Okay, good.
We
Thank
do it
you.
once a week. Yep.
All right. Colleen, you got a housing trust meeting later this month?
Yes, we have not met since early April, so I don't really have anything new to report. We'll be meeting, like I said, later this month.
All right. I know that I've spoken with Alicia, and I gather she's had more than 12 applications for the funds for the
Rental assistance.
rental assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that we're full. I know at least at the last meeting, she was doing some of the final paperwork. So yeah, that's going very well. Lots of need for sure.
Right. No, I know that. It's like, oh, impressive. So thank you very much. All right. Julie, Planning Board?
Yes, you called on me just as the train is going by. So planning board has some good stuff going on. We are doing a site walk tomorrow for, I believe it's 91 Groton Harvard Road, just south of the transfer station. We have another awesome business in Ayer. It's a concrete company. And so we're going to see what that property looks like. There's been a lot of talk, so I'm looking forward to actually seeing the dynamics of that site. And as we say, lines on paper are a little hard to follow. So actually seeing the property together will be good. And we're also working on what I think is the final iteration of Stratton Hill. And we talked about how 85% of that Mr. Moulton is gifting to Fish and Wildlife and will be preserved for nature space. 150 acres. They're building on 10 acres of land. It's pretty remarkable to see the numbers and to see that it's staying south of our power lines.
Nice.
So we'll continue working with them to finalize that, but I think it's a win-win and a big win for our town to keep a lot of that space open.
Correct.
So that's
It's
it for-
150 acres?
So 150 acres are going to be preserved. 10 acres are being built on. So I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
160 Jess, or 170. I'm somewhere within that range.
Nice.
It's good to hear. I wanted to try and go to the meeting, but I had a deck meeting conflict. And I'll take a look at the plans and stuff too, but glad that it sounds like it's going well.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Julie?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Sarah, this gives you a chance to go ahead and say what else is going on, with the Parks and Rec. I would imagine, I think the lifeguards have started already.
Yep, so we're open on the weekends. We open full time the 15th, whatever that Saturday is, right when school gets out. So then we'll have them more full time, swimming 12 to 7. Park technically opens at 10 a.m. But swimming starting at 12. Playground is going up. It's getting a lot of work done. We have a lot of work going in the nature playground as well. Hopefully we're gonna get our sign up soon for the big board park that's in the back area that's from all the wood of the trees that unfortunately had to take down. But in regards to everything else, everything's looking great. Just maintaining the park.
All right,
When
excellent.
do you expect the playground to be completed?
I do know that they have like 260 days from when they start. I don't believe that they're going to take the full time. I know that there's been a little bit of a holdup with the pour in place stuff, but obviously they have to get all of the construction and equipment up before they can put that in. I don't necessarily know the exact timeline of that yet. But I do know that they're there every day putting work in, putting all these new stuff up. We have at least the front half going up almost every day.
Great. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. All right, Sarah, thank you.
Mhm.
The Housing Authority, I know that they have, I think they needed to replace some of the roof over at Pleasant Street School. And as they did that, it opened up a spot and it rained. So there was some damage. So they have worked on repairing the damage, as well as making sure everything is all secure up on that roof. And
Before you finish on that one, the last we heard, they hadn't found the source of the
right, they did
internet
find,
leak.
yeah, they did find the source, and that's why they ended up doing pretty much the whole roof.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I say, once they opened it up, though, that's when we had one of those big rainstorms, and it went straight down into the stairwell. So, oh, when it rains, it pours. That was a bad one, I know, so sorry. The building that houses the office also houses what's called the congregate. It's 7 apartments that share a kitchen area. That kitchen area has been revamped, so now it's more handicap accessible. brought it up to more current code, and it looks pretty impressive. The way that they've got all the appliances and everything handicap accessible. So, and they've got the new type of flooring in there. So with that, it's pretty good.
Is that at the Pleasant Street School?
No, I'm sorry, this is at
Okay.
where the Housing Authority office is.
Okay, that's on what street?
That's on Pond Street.
Okay.
Right, I want to say it's building B or C.
Okay.
I'm a commissioner and I don't
Yeah.
remember what building number it is. Yeah, and they're really happy with the way that that came out. Like I say, it's got that new type of floor, laminate flooring that looks like hardwood. So very nice. And then we just got one more meeting in June, and then we'll have July and August off, unless something comes up. So that's it for the Housing Authority. And Beth,
Just the Pocket Forest projects that are a partnership between Ayer and Devon's are going well. We had and happy World Environment Day to everyone, which is today. So we had a really great work day at the Pocket Forest that's at the Devon's playground today, and that's looking very nice. And then we're continuing with an 8th grade group tomorrow, weather permitting, at the Ayer Shirley Middle School at that site. I'm coordinating with Alan Minoyan to figure out a possible work day for the Pocket Forest on East Main Street. And we had a really, really lovely celebration, which we maybe mentioned last meeting, at that site, the end of April. And now I'm sure it needs a little bit more attention again, just with time passing and everything growing so much with the great weather that we've been having. And I don't think we have the rain barrels up there yet either, so we'll need to get those back in place for the drip irrigation to be used. And then with Wild and Scenic Stewardship Commission Council, I guess, not a lot to update. The grants have been awarded, and I know that PACE received a grant again for the Grove Pond water chestnut pool, and they have really been going gangbusters out there. And there's a bunch of additional dates scheduled, but last I heard they might not almost need all of them because
Oh,
things
that's
were cleared
awesome.
out so much. So yeah, they've been really, really impressed with, like I think last year's work was just so thorough that, the population is apparently really in decline, but it is early in the season, so they'll continue to monitor, but it has been a great, great project.
Yeah, the water is, if you're over by the community garden area, the water looks very open where it used to be pretty clogged.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since you mentioned the community garden, we've got sort of a lot of new members and new interest. So there's a lot of discussions happening about, if there's any additional amenities and things like that that are needed for the community garden. So I'll, just keep the group updated. But I think, things are going really well. All of the beds are being, used, and, it's a nice community.
Excellent. Because is Christine Bradshaw still working on it, or?
Yes.
Good, okay. All right,
Yeah,
that's good to know.
she's kind of the lead coordinator. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think she took over for Sheila.
Yep.
So, all right, that's good.
Did
Okay.
Beth, you might know this, did they wind up building all the number of beds they wanted to build initially? They're going to do it over 3 years.
So I don't know what the original number proposed was. I don't recall. But we did put in more last year,
Okay.
and we certainly have room, space for additional beds, but this seems to be a manageable number right now. The
Okay.
ones that we got last year weren't quite like what we had hoped. They are smaller than the other ones. They're taller but smaller, and so right now we're giving somebody who gets those assignments actually 2 instead of 1, just because they just don't really have enough space if they only get one of the newer ones. but there's only 4 of those that are getting leased out. And then just the other thing that I might talk to you or Heather more about is that we have been dealing with a knotweed infestation that's along the fence line.
Yeah.
And so right now
That's
we've cut,
Heather.
yeah, okay.
Heather. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we will, continue to work with her on that, but we did have a really great work day this past weekend and cut all of the knotweed down on both sides of the fencing. And on the garden side, we put a black landscape fabric down just to try and smother it out so it doesn't come up as much.
That's why they call them weeds, right?
Mhm.
All right.
Well, the Japanese knotweed might be good habitat for the coming Joro spider
Oh,
infestation.
don't even go there.
Well, right now we actually have a good number of baby bunnies and a groundhog that's been bothering us. So no shortage of other pests, but the spider could be an additional challenge, I guess.
No, thank you. All right. I can say Barry is enjoying his grandchildren, so we definitely will get an update from him on historic and that next July meeting. And other than that, I think that's about it. Yeah. I know, Colleen, you gave a thumbs up for continuing your role here on CPC. Thank you very much. Do
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I think, Beth, you received an email as well. Will you be continuing?
Yes, so
Please.
Carly forwarded it to me today because I hadn't seen it. So I saw Carly's email. I didn't see the original one. So I said that I would be happy to continue.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Right. We got a good group here, Woohoo! Let's go
Well,
for it.
thank you for making it so easy for the rest of us, Madam Chair.
I try to make easy meetings. I do try. It's like, but no, thank you. Again, can't do it without you guys. All right. I don't think there's really anything else. Because if there's nothing else, then let's hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Jess makes the motion and it looks
Second.
like Colleen seconds. All in favor? Aye.
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 You got it.
Yes.